Well, hello. Fancy seeing you here. Fucking hell, imagine that. What are the chances, eh? Well, quite high if you're looking for this content. Anyway, E3 this week, great stuff. Already, I've done the reactions to Microsoft's conference. Powerful, strong performance, very good. Late last night, early this morning. I didn't watch it live. It's too late, man. It's too late. I can't commit to Bethesda and Sony. I've got to commit to Sony tonight. So sorry, Bethesda, but I've caught up. I've watched it. Bethesda's conference, pretty decent. So I've got my notes. My notes are my big, sexy purple notebook. Going to go through my notes. Going to go through the conference, recap what Bethesda talked about, give my opinion on it, my scathing, harsh opinion. It's not that bad. So yeah, starting off, Bethesda had quite a long-winded opening about the kind of culture at Bethesda, what it's like to work there. They showed people in the kitchen. Great. Then there was a rock performance by someone I've never fucking heard of that was apparently the music for Rage 2. It was a bit weird, to be honest, but I didn't mind it. He seemed to be into it. I kind of wasn't. I hope I wish that they'd done what Sony did and played the music over the gameplay. That would have been cool, but no, we just had kind of an awkward rock performance and people sat in chairs just wanting to see video games, being forced to watch this sweaty, muscly man scream about Rage. So after he finished playing the piano pretty well and screaming at the crowd that were not interested in the slightest, they carted out two people from id Software and Avalanche, the guys who are making Rage 2. I mean, they definitely shouldn't have been on stage. They were the most awkward fucking people I'd ever seen, honestly. I mean, one guy waited for a good 30 seconds before he said something.
Well, thank you, Tim. Yeah!
A lot of pause for applause. I mean, that seemed to be the theme of this conference. I'm pretty fucking confident that they had fake audience members in Bethesda's media briefing because they were getting very excited about things they shouldn't have been getting excited about. Anyway, after nearly 15 fucking minutes, which is shocking, they actually showed Rage 2. They showed gameplay of Rage 2, and holy shit, balls on a stick, up my arse, coming out of my mouth, does that game look good. I mean, the marriage between id Software and Avalanche is just delicious. I mean, the FPS and the monster design, the level design, the artistry of id Software, combined with the seamless open world abilities and the insane car combat that Avalanche are renowned for. I mean, it comes together so sweetly, and it looks unbelievable. It's Doom with Mad Max on steroids, and I'm 100% behind this. And to be fair, this might make people actually care about Rage again, which will be a good thing. I mean, Rage was a decent game. It was kind of overlooked, even by me, when it first came out. So hopefully this brings people back to Rage, and I think it's bold of them calling it Rage 2. It's making people know that this is a series and that there are other games and that it will probably continue on into the future if it does well. They gave a date for it. Well, they gave a season for it, which is a thing. Spring 2019. Good start for Bethesda. Big fan. Then they got boring. Elder Scrolls Legends. It's a card game. It's on... what was it on? It's on iOS and PC right now. The big news for Elder Scrolls Legends, oh my god, it's on PS4 and Xbox and Switch. I mean, I don't care. So that's like you announced that news in a fucking tweet, not at E3. Jesus. Anyway, they didn't move on from boring Elder Scrolls stuff. I suppose it's a bit harsh for me. Yeah, Matt Firor from Elder Scrolls Online. He came on stage and sucked his own dick for a little bit, talking about how good Elder Scrolls Online is. He paused for applause too many times. I told you it's a theme here. Literally egging people onto applause. Anyway, Elder Scrolls Online, apparently it's amazing. I've never fucking played it. DLC is coming, something called Wolf Hunter, and something else I didn't catch the name of. So yeah, that was like an excruciating 25 minutes opener for Bethesda, to be honest. And then they showed something actually quite exciting, and something I did indeed predict. Doom 2. Well, not 2, it's called Doom Eternal. I called it. I fucking called it. I told you it'd be there. It was, and to be honest, it was kind of obvious. The game came out, the original game, well, not the original, the 2016 game came out in 2016, 2 years ago. 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. And it was popular as shit, so it was basically a given that this sequel would be happening at some point. They didn't show much of the game besides a cool little trailer for it, which had sweet Doom music. Some id Software guys came on stage and basically said that, yeah, new features, yay, hell on earth, great, more demons, cool. And that's all we're saying. We're going to show you the rest of it at QuakeCon. So yeah, they're debuting the gameplay at QuakeCon in August. So again, this is a theme you will get with the Bethesda conference. It's kind of a, is this thing, take it away. Is this thing, take it away. That's kind of how this conference went, because they basically just flashed the logo and a pretty little picture of Doom, and then it's like, no, see you later. It's coming. We're gonna reveal it properly later on. Bit annoying. Not gonna lie, bit annoying. After that, Quake Champions, new accessibility features. Trial is open. I didn't even realize the game wasn't out. I thought Quake Champions was out. The amount of times they talk about it being a thing, I genuinely thought it was out. Apparently not. It's not. It's on closed trial. I don't know what it is. Dude, just, yeah, fuck off. Quake Champions, it's... something happened with Quake Champions, I don't know. So yeah, beyond Quake Champions, they had Prey. Prey came out last year, did it? Yeah, Prey came out last year, and apparently they hailed it as a success. I thought it flopped, to be honest. I didn't like the combat. The combat was weird. It didn't feel right. It was asking, the enemies, the mimics, were really fast, and I just... Yeah, I'd never really got the hang of defeating them. But yeah, anyway, Prey, there are some new modes for Prey. You got New Game Plus, Survival Mode, and there's some DLC coming called Moon Crash, which is basically you're on the moon and you've got to escape the moon, but every time you die, the level changes. So every run is different. Every escape plan has to be different. I like that idea. Fan of that idea. I like the look of it. Different environmental problems, different puzzles, different enemies to take on. Cool. Very cool. Also, they've got a new mode called Typhon Hunter. In multiplayer, it's one player versus 5 mimics, and apparently the mimics can hide as objects in the game. So it's going to be a pretty tough online mode when you're one player versus 5 mimics. I like it. I like what you're doing. Moving on to a new Wolfenstein game. They've gone with the quite clever title this time around, Wolfenstein Youngblood, like Wolfenstein Old Blood, play on the Old Blood thing, so this is, I'm assuming this is like their in-between game, how they had Wolfenstein The New Order, then Old Blood, then 2, New Colossus. This is their in-between small game. It follows BJ Blazkowicz. It follows BJ Blazkowicz. You can't say Blazkowicz any other way than Blazkowicz. It follows... What the fuck am I doing with my life? It follows his twin daughters in a 1980s Paris. Sweet. 1980s Paris. I like that. Hunting Nazis. I like that. Coming out in 2019. They showed a trailer for it. Very short. It's got a nice 80s aesthetic, including kind of a 80s synthy soundtrack. Very, very Stranger Things. Very with the times, I suppose, right now, where people are kind of looking back towards that 80s style. I like it. I like it a lot. Again, they did that thing where they showed it shortly. It's like, here's Wolfenstein, the Youngblood, and it's gone. It's like there's a tease of the games that are coming. It's like, hey, these are coming soon. Be excited. And they're gone. It's like, fuck's sake, man. Like, show me something. Show me more. Give me some more substance to what you're showing me. And now, I think the reason they did this is because what they did next. They spent a lot of time on Fallout 76. A lot of time. I feel like this was a conference for Fallout 76 that was sandwiched between some really rushed, shitty announcements. Not shitty, but kind of announcements that weren't given the attention. Either side, and you'll see what I mean about either side. Like with Wolfenstein Youngblood and Doom Eternal, I feel like they were given a disservice just to show more of Fallout 76, which, by the way, was a game definitely worth showing more of. So yeah, Todd Howard came out on stage, the hero himself. Well, an absolute legend. The man has got some fucking swagger about him, I tell you what. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. He reminds me of Steve Carell. Don't know why. I think it might be the way he talks. Anyway, they did this fucking brilliant thing. It's so good. So fucking good. They did a joke about Skyrim being on Amazon Echoes. I thought it was so fucking good of them, so clever. Basically, a voice-activated Skyrim on Amazon Echoes and Echo Dots. I was like, yes, mate. Yes, they realise that they are a joke. They realise that Skyrim being on multiple platforms is a joke at this point, and they embraced it and took the piss out of it no end. It's nice to see them be properly self-aware of their fuck-ups. Something that was a theme when Todd Howard was on stage mentioning the bugginess of the games and whatnot. They know... What I like about Bethesda is there's no bullshit with them. They know they've got problems. And when someone like Todd Howard comes out on stage with complete swagger and addresses those problems, takes the piss out of those problems, is completely self-aware of these things and makes jokes about them, it's humbling. It's the sense of humility that isn't in the video game industry right now, especially from giant publishers. And it's nice to see Bethesda get on that bandwagon and really become part of the community that criticizes them. Like criticizing themselves in the way that the community does. Top marks there. 10 out of 10 Bethesda, like they're stealing the show. That bit alone is like a stealing the show moment for me. And then they moved on to Fallout 76. So as I said in the Xbox One, they showed the Xbox trailer again. Same thing, 4 times larger than Fallout 4, set in West Virginia, blah, 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 blah. Gameplay is basically a usual kind of Fallout affair. It's Fallout basically. You can play it entirely solo, even though it is online. You can play it entirely solo. It's the same opening as Fallout by all accounts. You come out of the shelter, you're introduced into the world, into the environment, what it looks like. It's all about the visuals when you come out of the vault. There's new creepy monster designs that are based in actual West Virginia folklore. I like that. That's good. The interesting thing, though, about Fallout 76, is the online aspect of it. Basically, every character in the game, this is what they said, every character in the game is a real person. So every person you come across, every encounter you have, is another player somewhere in the world, which is unreal. It's hard to wrap your head around. I don't know how it's going to pan out. I kind of got some No Man's Sky vibes from it. It's like, here's the world. You can go out into it completely solo if you want, but then you will encounter other players, and what you do with that player is entirely up to you. You don't necessarily have to attack them. You can if you want. You can work together. You can become teammates. You can build the bases. I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't know. The interesting thing as well is that Todd Howard said that it's only a small number of players per server. So it's not hundreds or thousands. He said dozens. So dozens means less than 100. So less than 100 players. It's like, how's this gonna work? And as much as they tried to explain how this would work in their briefing, they didn't really hit the nail on the head with it. Not quite. Either way, it looks fucking cool. It looks good. It's basically a Fallout game online. I think what they've done is they've called it Fallout 76 in case it fucks up. Personally, like obviously it's about Vault 76, but they could have called it Fallout 5. But they didn't. They called it Fallout 76 in case it's a fuck up, so they can revert to Fallout 5 and continue on that single player, no multiplayer bullshit, without damaging the main kind of like numeral branding of Fallout. Some cool new features of this new Fallout game as well is that you can build and move structures anywhere in the game. So you can build them and then you can pick them up and plunk them wherever you want. And you can basically make a settlement on your own, make a settlement with your friends. You can team up with your friends and make a settlement and basically live in West Virginia in Fallout style. It's really cool. There's also a really interesting thing. I love this. There are nuclear missile sites in the game, and you can go to these nuclear missile sites and launch a nuke from these sites to hit a specific area of a map. And exactly why you do that is not clear, and to be honest, I think it isn't made clear at all. It's there as an option in the game to do if you want to. You don't have to, but you can use it to like attack enemies. You can use it to attack rival players, rival like clans or like settlements, rival settlements. And after you use the nuke and you destroy a certain small area of the map, it's not a huge area of the map, it doesn't completely wipe out the map, it's just a small area. You can go to that area and there will be valuable resources and supplies there. and different things that have been caused by the nuclear bomb. Really interesting mechanic that, to be honest, it's surprising it hasn't been in a Fallout game before. It's all about nuclear war. Why haven't there been nuclear weapons? Now there are. Good shout, Bethesda. Good shout. They're also doing a beta for it, a beta which they quite cleverly called Break It Early Test Application. Smart. Again, it's that self-aware thing. They mentioned there that their games do tend to break and do tend to be buggy, so they want to get it out there in the wild beforehand and see how it goes. I don't know where you sign up for that beta. It's probably somewhere in that conference, but I didn't hit it. I didn't make a note of it. Also, there's a collector's edition. Shows a glow-in-the-dark map. Great. Figures that you can put on that map, and an actual functional power armor helmet that you can wear that has a light and a voice modulated thing as well. Very cool. Very cool. I like that a lot. So yeah, Fallout 76. Basically Fallout with online, and by online they mean real world characters, real people in the game as characters, as people you can interact with and have unique interactions with. So I don't know. I still can't wrap my head around it. It's one of, again, it's what I mean about that No Man's Sky thing. You can't wrap your head around it until you play it. So I think we're going to have to play it. I mean, you think about Fallout 4, you think about how many characters were in Fallout 4. How can each one of those be a real person? They can't be, can they? Because there's hundreds and hundreds of characters that you come across. So, like, are there going to be NPCs in the game? Like, these are the questions that haven't been really answered. But it does instill some confidence in me that they've said you can play entirely solo. You don't have to play with people. You will encounter them, but you don't have to play with them. I hope you can turn off people or turn off damage or turn off the online element. That would be nice. We'll see what happens. But no, fully functional Fallout, story, quests, everything, just with real people in it. And I think it's just going to encourage some kind of emergent gameplay. It's going to be, what you're going to dick around with with your friends. Like, what experiences are you going to have together that you didn't have together, you couldn't have together before? I mean, Fallout games always had some weird, crazy shit happening in them that you couldn't really share with friends. You had their experiences, and you had to go and tell those stories to your friends. This gives you the opportunity to be with your friends and experience that mental fucked up situation together. And I really like that. I'm a big fan of Fallout, and I'm excited for this game. And it's coming on the 14th of November this year. They gave a solid date for it. They did what they did with Fallout 4. Here's the game. 6 months later, it's released. Brilliant. Love it. Perfect. Good shout, Bethesda. Now, if I was them, I would have ended the conference there. But yeah, they didn't. They carried on. So yeah, they moved on now to Fallout Shelter, which has been out 3 years apparently, which is mad. I remember playing that like it was yesterday. It's coming to PS4 and Switch. It's free and available right now. Cool. Probably going to pick that up. They were banging on about how successful mobile is, and that 120 million players played Fallout Shelter, which is more than any of all of their games combined. That's mad. So, understandably, they're trying to double down on the mobile side of things. As such, they announced Elder Scrolls Blades. So they're going into their other big franchise, and it's a first-person RPG on a phone. Very ambitious. Hot prediction right now, probably going to be shit. Let's be honest, it's probably going to be shit. It's probably going to play like shit. There's no way that this is going to be a competent game. Not on mobile. But there's some interesting things that you can play it in portrait mode, which is cool. There are dungeons and there are outdoor areas. It's an open world. It's an open world RPG. It's an open world Elder Scrolls RPG. Character customization is all there. You can be the kind of person you want to be in it. And their aim is to have it on multiple devices. So not just on iOS and Android, also on PC. They want it on consoles. And they want it on VR. They want to have it in VR, both mobile VR and like high-end VR. That's mad. So they want to make a game that permeates across all platforms. They also want it to be cross-platform play, and they want to sync your Elder Scrolls Blades account across all devices. So I could be playing on my PlayStation, go and play it on my phone, play it on PC. I mean, how that's going to work, I don't know. I don't even think they know how it's going to work yet. They weren't confident in it. They just said it's a dream, a far-fetched dream. Anyway, all of that was Todd Howard with Bethesda Game Studios. He then pissed off. His part was done. Again, should have ended the conference. But no, they decided to do that thing again. Where it's like, here's the game, now it's gone. Because for some fucking reason, they wanted to talk about next-gen games. So they announced that Starfield is real. We know it's real, Bethesda. We all knew it was coming. Good one. And then they also announced Elder Scrolls 6. They literally just flashed the fucking name of it on the screen. They haven't even got a subtitle for it. Like, dude, we know you're working on these games. Announce them at a relevant point. I feel like they announced those just to tally up, just to rack up some more fan points at E3 to really have a good E3 show. They didn't really need to do that. I felt like Fallout 76 carried that show. But yeah, that was how they ended the conference, really. Like, here's 2 logos for games that are so far away that it's not even worth thinking about. It's like, great, good one. I don't, like, when we're going to see them, maybe next year, more likely 2020. Who knows? But yeah, that was Bethesda's conference. Like, how it ended, it was a bit of a fizzle out. It fizzled out how I thought Microsoft was going to. Final thoughts on it. The conference itself, it had some good things in there. Doom, excited about Doom Eternal. Excited about Wolfenstein, the new one. Excited about Fallout 76. Rage 2 looks good, so they got 4 good solid games there. I think all the other stuff around that was not needed, and if that was removed, then they probably could have spent more time on Doom Eternal, more time on Wolfenstein the Youngblood. Really had like just what they kind of did last year, where they had like that short 45-minute showing of lengthy gameplay trailers. I would have liked to have seen gameplay for Doom and Wolfenstein, really. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Otherwise, I'm glad that Fallout 76 doesn't look like shit, isn't going to be some sort of Battle Royale or Rust kind of game. It is its own thing, something that is difficult to explain, which generally means it's going to be quite exciting to play. And hopefully, it'll be decent. And I think it will be. You think about the people that are behind it, the team that are behind it. I don't think this is going to fall short of anything but great. So yeah, that's it. That's Bethesda. Bethesda's E3. Not bad. You didn't beat Microsoft. Microsoft's still up there, still number 1. But yeah, you're hot on their tails, So well done, Bethesda. Well done. Anyway, that's it. Please, if you like this video, go and subscribe to the channel, like this video, give me that thumbs up, thumbs down, nonsense, whatever, all that YouTube shit. Share it with your friends, and I'm going to be doing the E3 reactions for the rest of the week. So tomorrow and Wednesday, there's going to be something. What is tomorrow? It's Tuesday. Yeah, it is. God, it's going to kill me, this is. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my E3 content. I promise you, it will be good. It will be very, very good. Very high quality. High quality in the same way that Tesco's own brand lager is high quality. Like, it'll get you, it'll do the job. Probably make you feel sick after. So, until next time, my friends.